Start tonight with some breaking news and tough news to report. We have learned that the officer that was found shot and killed on top of a Silver Spring parking garage died by his own hand. This news coming tonight from the Montgomery County Police Department. The chief medical examiner says T.J. Bomba's gunshot wound was self-inflicted. Tonight we have also learned that his body camera was not turned on at the time that this happened. Right now, police are not releasing any details about a memorial service right now, but Officer Bomba does leave behind a wife and 2 young boys. Well, Montgomery County officers were wearing black sashes on their badges today, sashes also on their squad cars in memory and also dealing with their loss. Now, if you have a loved one who is struggling, there is help and it's close by, just a phone call away. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline does provide 24/7 support. There's a voice on the other end of that line to help you. If you know somebody in distress or in crisis, give them this number. It's 1-800-273-8255, 1-800-273-TALK. We've also posted that number on our website, WJLA.com, and there you can also find much more on Officer Bomba's life and his legacy. In other news and happening right now, there is a big night of baseball as the Nats now are just 3 outs away from heading to their first ever World Series. And a big night also for politics as the Democratic candidates were squaring off for their 4th presidential debate. But let's get now straight out to our team coverage of this huge Game 4 for the Washington Nationals. It does feel like this team is unstoppable at this point. Jay Korf, he's hearing from fans about this historic Nats run. But we're going to start with Michelle Marsh and Scott Abraham right in the middle of the action. This is when the real sweating begins. Just 3 more outs and it's done.
Oh my goodness, sweating and the understatement. We're pouring with sweat.
No more fingernails, they're gone.
Yeah, that is for sure. John, what started off as back in May as an impossible feat when the Nats were 4th place, now oh so close to becoming a reality. Just one more win tonight is all the Nats need to punch their ticket for the first time ever to the World Series.
Is it over yet? Is the game over yet?
This game is the one that will never end, it feels like.
My friends, we're 3 outs away and the Washington Nationals are going to the World Series. So the good news is the Nats scored 7 runs in the first inning. I mean, if you think of this as like a boxing prize fight, I mean, they landed a haymaker early and they put up a touchdown on the St. Louis Cardinals, had a 7-0 lead. But then the Cardinals started to chip away a little bit in the 5th inning. Starter Patrick Corbin ran into some trouble. So right now it's 7-4. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Closer Daniel Hudson is on the mound needing just 3 outs. And the Washington Nationals would go to the World Series. But there is a lot of baseball left. 3 outs, the final 3 outs, always the toughest to get, Michelle.
Absolutely. Oh!
I think we're down to 2. So we're at 3. We're at 2 outs.
You can hear the roar of the crowd. Let me just give you a lay of the land so you have an idea where we're set up. There are gates all around us. Further out along the ball club, there's also gates set up. They have a perimeter. There are lots of police officers out here. There are a couple of ambulances on standby. A lot of folks anticipating a huge party out here, including ourselves. We've switched to these stick mics, so if it gets really loud and there are huge crowds around us, you can still hear us.
Listen, these fans have been waiting a long time for this.
They have gone
through a lot. It's been an emotional roller coaster with this ball club for several years, going back to 2012 when they blew a 6-0 lead against the St. Louis Cardinals in Game 5. So these Nationals fans are ready to party. They're ready to celebrate. I spent about the first 5 innings inside the ballpark, and it's the loudest I ever heard Nats Park. These fans are in tune, they're engaged, and they just want to celebrate a big Curly W.
It's been a lifetime of waiting, and our Jay Korf has been meeting some of those fans. I know, Jay, you've got your lucky pocket square. So far,
yes.
It seems to be doing the trick. Tell us about some of the fans you've met tonight.
There you go, Jay Korf. There you go.
Yeah, guys, I actually had a friend on Facebook say to me, you better hold on to that pocket square. That pocket square is not allowed to go anywhere because it was with me during the Caps Stanley Cup run. It was with me during the Mystics run. And now I have it for the Nationals run. It is electric out here. I can just have to say that. We, of course, have to be outside of the stadium because we're not credentialed. But as you can see over here, there are all kinds of fans who are milling about. I'd say hundreds, if not thousands. What we're going to do is we're actually going to walk over real quickly to the Walter because that place is packed. It's right below Mission. that is a baseball-themed bar after Walter Johnson, the legendary pitcher for the Washington Senators from around the teens and the 20s, the early turn of the century. But I got to tell you, these fans are just going crazy because there is a lot of history here, and the history is this franchise, which was before the Montreal Expos. They've never been this far. They've never won a National League pennant. They've never been to a World Series. The Washington Senators, a completely different franchise, the last time they went to the World Series and lost was in 1933. They won in 1924. So it's literally been generations since this town has seen a potential world champion baseball team. So that's the lay of the land from here. We're going to head over and get in there to watch people go crazy. They're going to go crazy out here as well. We'll be here for all the live coverage. Back to you guys.
We're standing. We're so nervous right now, Jay.
We can't stay in
We
our
were
seats.
sitting. We have to stand now, my friends. It is just enticingly close right now. 2 outs away. The Washington Nationals so close to punching their ticket to the World Series.
Yeah, and we have our Heather Graff. She is standing by. She is at the Mission. Heather, is that where you're still located? With a bird's eye view, that's going to be the best spot to get a really good look, an overview of all the crowds that are going to fill those streets downtown. Oh, this
We're 1 out away.
That's right. We're at Mission Restaurant, the second floor balcony of Mission Restaurant on N Street. I want to show you our view first, as you mentioned. So this restaurant's basically catty corner from the center field gates, and we are seeing some people come out of the ballpark. We're also seeing some people right now as they're leaving the ballpark kind of turn back as they wait for these final outs and look back at the big screen. And I'm going to have my photographer pan over here. We want to show you the scene here in the bar. They are celebrating right now. The Nationals 1 out away from clinching a spot in the World Series. So we'll be here, we'll be hanging out all night long, showing you the scene inside the bar and then out here on the street. For now, we will send it back to you, Michelle and Scott.
All right, yeah, stay safe in there, Heather Graff. So a little update, 1 out away, Michelle. 1 more out, and the Nationals are going to the World Series.
All right, and when the first World Series game, when is that again, Scott?
Okay, that would be Tuesday, and that would be at the winner of the Houston Astros or the New York Yankees, who are playing in the American League Championship Series. Both of those teams had better regular season records, so they would get the home field in the World Series. If the Nationals do get there, Game 1 would be Tuesday, Game 2 would be Wednesday.
Let's talk about where we were just a few months ago back in May.
Oh,
when
hold on.
folks...
Hold on.
Is this it?
It is over, Michelle Marsh.
Oh, it is
Hey,
over.
wait a second.
We
got the brooms, baby.
The brooms are out tonight.
The Washington Nationals. Listen, my friends, the Washington Nationals are going to the World Series. And the fireworks, look at
have
this.
started. Can you pan up?
Can you
Let's see
pan
the
up, Frank
fireworks.
Becker? Can you pan up?
There it goes. The party is gonna be rocking tonight.
Woo!
Woo!
They did it. History. Listen to the music. Listen to the crowd. Nats fans, enjoy this moment. There's been a lot of heartache. There's been a lot of tears. It's over now. They're in the World Series.
The baseball gods, this series were Nats fans. So much went right for the Nats, starting with the first inning. That was amazing. 7 runs on the board in what seemed like a snap of the finger.
They landed a huge punch in the first inning, and they kind of hung on there. And I think it's ironic that the one weak spot of the Washington Nationals, we talked about it all season long, their bullpen. And their bullpen really stepped up tonight. Patrick Corbin was pulled after 5 innings, and the bullpen came in 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. They got 12 outs to close this door and close their trip to the World Series.
And a sweep that sends such a strong message of dominance to whoever they face, whether it is the New York Yankees or the Houston Astros. Watch out, the Nats are here and they mean business.
And I'm going to counter that point, Michelle Marsh, because the Washington Nationals will not have to play a baseball game for a week. This is massively important because, one, they're going to have a great deal of rest. Number two, they can set their pitching staff the way they want to set it up for the World Series, which begins on Tuesday in either Houston or New York. So they got a week to kind of digest, to kind of regroup. And then here we go. Let's do it all again. 4 more wins away. 4 more wins away, and we got another world championship. We got to savor this. We got to savor this.
Let's go to Annalisa Gale. She is live on the street level, taking in the celebration. Annalisa, actually, she's at Capitol Hill. They were watching the debate and this, but the party's on now to celebrate the Nats. This is huge, Annalisa.
Yes, that's right, Michelle. The party is just getting started here at Union Pub now that we know officially that the Nats are going to the World Series, and we have lots of DC natives inside this bar. We're joined now by Ron. He is just so pumped up after getting this news. So you should stand. What do you think?
That's unbelievable. Can you imagine? And we're in a bar, and they're putting on the debate instead of the game. We're in D.C.
Which one was more interesting to you?
The game, come on.
What do you think is the most exciting part about this moment for the city?
That they won 4 straight, and nobody expected us. Just like when the Caps won, now the Nats are here, and nobody expected it, and look, we're in the World Series.
I love it.
Can you imagine?
I love it. How long have you been paying attention to the Nats as they've been going along?
Ever since I was born here, grew up here, and, you know, it's just great. How can you not be happy right now?
Do you want to cry?
No.
No, I don't want to cry. Thank you,
I
Ron.
want to cry when the Caps won.
There you go. So, yes, lots of excited fans right now here at Union Pub. Of course, we won't find out how the presidential race is going to go, but right now we know that the Nats are going to the World Series. I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Annalisa, thank you so much. And the party is on here outside Nats Park. Fans starting to trickle in. These guys, hey, are you guys excited or what? Can you believe it?
We're going to the World Series.
Marlins fans.
I'm ready, baby. Let's go.
What a win. Marlins man's in the house.
We are World Series ready.
Yeah, I mean, the excitement is palpable. I mean, you can tell this city is ready to celebrate because it's been a long time coming. Let's head out to Jay Korf right now. He's been with fans all night long. And Jay, the Nats are going to the World Series. What are you seeing right now, Jay?
Oh, man, it is bedlam out here. People are going crazy. The best part is over here. There's a band playing, people are dancing, and there's a broom because we swept the St. Louis Cardinals. If you can see this broom here, that was the symbol that this young man, who happens to tell me he's from Houston, so he's actually an Astros fan, but he likes the Nats too. He's just here celebrating along with everybody else. What was that?
I said I waited 60 years for this. DC, baby. DC.
Yeah, people are just ecstatic. Suddenly, because this band showed up, everybody started dancing. So it's just the perfect timing. This New Orleans jazz band is out here just tearing it up. Enjoy this moment, DC. Hey, so how are you doing? Talk to me. How you feeling?
I live a block away, man. I never watched baseball in my life. I love baseball now. My first time ever. I love it, man. Channel 7, number one. Number one, Channel 7. Go now.
I appreciate that very much. I appreciate that very much. So now, didn't you say that you were from Houston?
I'm from Houston, but I just moved out here. I think I brought the good luck. We going against each other, and I just hope for a good series. Let's go!
And you got the broom. You got the broom.
I got the. I live right there, man. I can watch the games from home, but I love the environment. I'm here to party. Let's go Nets!
And this place has turned into a rockin' party, folks.
What's going on, man? How you doing, brother?
You must be proud of your city right now. First the Caps, then the Mystics, now the Nats.
Man, to see my city do what they did tonight with my game.
It is bedlam down here, folks. Dancing, singing, hugging.
Oh, it is bedlam, all right. We have photographers falling over. We got fans celebrating. It is a great scene. J-Corp, stay safe out there, and the fans are celebrating, and the party is just starting. The Washington Nationals defeat the St. Louis Cardinals tonight in Game 4 of the National League Championship Series, 7-4, sweeping away the Cardinals and booking their ticket to the World Series. And this is their first World Series since moving back to Washington, since baseball came back to Washington. Remember, the Senators made it to the World Series 86 years ago, Michelle.
Oh, how far they've come. The fans that have stuck with them and are here now to celebrate in all the glory of tonight's victory. You think about what kind of year we've had. We had the Mystics just take on a magical run against Connecticut, and we had huge celebrations for that. And now here we are again celebrating, solidifying DC as a sports town. Those who say it isn't are proven wrong once again tonight. And who could forget the Caps winning just a short time ago? So we've got the Caps, we've got the Mystics, and now we have the Nationals heading to the World Series for the first time ever. You can't say that enough because this is such a big night.
Michelle, DC now stands for District of Champions.
I'm
Come on
with
now.
you.
Oh, wait.
I'm
Caps,
with it.
Mystics, Nats, 4 wins away from a world championship. This is their first National League pennant. So, I mean, the mojo, that so-called DC sports curse, as my Italian grandmother would say, forget about it. It is over. It is over. Curse be gone. The Nats are going to the World Series. And let's join Heather Graff right now. She's been in all the action all night long. Heather, what are you seeing right now? What's going on where you are?
Oh my goodness, Scott. Well, we're on the second floor balcony of a restaurant on N Street, right across from the center field gate. There's a party going on inside, but an even bigger party happening right now on the streets. And we want to show you this bird's eye view as fans spill out of the ballpark and begin their celebration here in Southeast Washington. We have seen people hugging, we have seen people crying, standing in the street, taking photos, just trying to enjoy this moment that they have waited for so long. You know, we were out here last night during Game 3, and after the Game 3 win, we heard fans chanting, Nats in 4, Nats in 4, and that is exactly what has happened here tonight. I'll tell you what, another chant we've heard is, we want the Yankees. Now, of course, the Yankees now down 1-2 against the Astros in the ALCS, so we'll have to wait and see how that series plays out. But we have heard from some fans who are already chomping at the bit. They want the Nationals to play the Yankees in the World Series. So that's the view right now that you're looking at. This is N Street right in front of the center field gates, and the party here just getting started. But we also want to show you the party here inside. This is Mission Restaurant, and you can see they are celebrating. She got the rally towel, but of course we didn't need that tonight. We do want to talk to a couple of these fans. We've been hanging out with you guys all night. How big is this moment?
This is a big win. The Nats gave it their all, and Bryce Harper was right about bringing the title back to DC. So, yeah.
We've heard a lot of people say that. What's Bryce Harper thinking right now?
Bryce Harper regrets his decision, for sure, yeah.
All right, so walk me through that, you know, counting down the final outs. What were you guys thinking? What were you feeling?
I was feeling a sweep, and the scoreboard proved a sweep, so.
And you couldn't get tickets to the game, so this is kind of the next best thing, being here across from the ballpark?
Yeah, this is a good alternative. I mean, we could hear the cheers from the stadium, so it was really hyping up the crowd here.
All right, so as we said, thank you so much for your time. They're celebrating here inside the bars, outside of Nats Park, and of course they're celebrating outside the ballpark as well. We will be here throughout the evening. We'll be checking in with you guys. We'll leave you though with one more look here at N Street Southeast, and you can see the crowd is just growing bigger and bigger as fans continue to file out of the ballpark. Michelle and Scott, we'll send it back to you for right now.
It's not going home anytime
Oh, the
soon.
night is young.
It is
The night is young.
Yeah, very young. And you know, this was a priceless win and also a Bryceless win.
Priceless win. Very good, Michelle Marsh. And there was a lot of kind of doom and gloom coming into the season because they're facing their franchise for so many years. Bryce Harper decided to go up I-95 and sign with the Philadelphia Phillies, coupled with a bad start. Not a lot of good was coming out of Nats Park until late May, and these guys really turned it around. Their motto all season long, stay in the fight, take that one game at a time, one game approach. And everybody has that signature moment. For the Washington Capitals, it was Evgeny Kuznetsov scoring that goal in overtime to beat the Penguins in Game 6 2 years ago in the Eastern Conference Final. The Nats' signature moment, I think there's two. First of all, that wild card game where they got a little bit lucky there in the 8th inning. The outfielder misplayed the ball. They were down 3-1, and they came back to win that game 4-3. And then you go to the Dodgers series, that grand slam by Howie Kendrick. What a moment, and that kind of really catapulted this team from a confidence aspect, thinking like they can beat anybody, and they swept away the St. Louis Cardinals.
And that leaves behind very happy fans. The Nats delivering on a postseason promise.
Yes.
The shirt I'm wearing says it all. Bring it home. It's been brought.
They brought it.
We are ready
They brought it.
for the World Series. Our Jay Korf standing by. He's with the fans, some rowdy fans, celebrating
poor
tonight's
Jay.
big win. Jay, how you hanging in there?
Hold on there, buddy.
I'm hanging in there as best as I can. People are, being pretty good. They're excited, understandably. How are you feeling?
I love it. Hey, the whole time, the whole story. Where are you? No,
This is a G show. This is not a PG show or an R show. So, anyway, that's live television. But just want to let you, for me, Scott was talking about the season. For me, it was May 23rd. Because that was the day when the Nats were 19-31. They were 10 games out of first place in the National League East. They were stinking it up. They were not doing well. And then they slowly started to turn things around. They got better relievers before the trade deadline. They had a really solid June. They had a really good July. Then they had an amazing August. And then they just rolled into the postseason with so much momentum. And here we are. You know, baseball is a fickle sport. And suddenly this team has gone from being really bad early on in the season to being just on fire. Thousands of people pouring out. I'm sure there was capacity around 42,000. And they're still pouring out of the stadium. As I look into the stands, I can see a lot of people don't want to leave. So how are you feeling?
We're feeling excited. We're feeling awesome. First baseball game ever, and he gets the NLCS champion.
Your first baseball game?
Yes, this is my first baseball game.
What was that like?
It's just mind-blowing. It's just mind-blowing. The Nationals win, and they're the World Series. Like, it's just really cool.
It sounds like you guys need to come back for the World Series.
We're definitely coming back. If the wife lets us. That's what it is. Thank you.
Take care, guys. And I believe that this was the towel that was given out to folks for the game. Let's get this thing going. The band is back. Let's go over there and see what they're doing. A lot of dancing out here on Half Street. We haven't seen this kind of excitement since the Caps Stanley Cup run. And we've also seen a lot of brooms. A lot of brooms. Now, of course, if you don't know a lot about baseball, the broom signifies a sweep. A sweep is when you win all of the games in a row in a series. So the Nats, it's a best-of-7 series. They won 4 in a row. That's a sweep. So folks are getting out the broom. Good to see you. That was, of course, the song.
Yep. How do you feel about it? Rally cry. Let's go Nats. Is that not amazing?
You know, I think that says a lot about this team when the rallying cry in the song is such a fun song. You know,
the team believes in it, and that's the important part. If the team believes in it, we believe in it.
As soon as he came here, turned it all around. Grand slam.
That's right. A lot of people really believe that when he came, he really turned the club around. Look at these guys. Oh, there's already a hat. Here, let's see that hat. Let's see that hat. Look at that. World Series. All right, back to you guys.
All right, Jay Korf, great job out there. I know it's not easy with all those fans, but you're making it look easy. And The fans, rightfully so happy right now. They're starting to file through the home plate gate here, and there's actually a little bit of a celebration going on the field right now, a little trophy celebration, awarding of the National League pennant, and then the real fun starts in the clubhouse. We'll be popping champagne, the beer, and they just announced, Michelle Marsh, that Howie Kendrick,
MVP.
36 years old young, has won the MVP of the National League Championship Series. He's been on fire since that Dodger series, hitting that grand slam. So they're having a little celebration right now in the field. Then they'll go in the clubhouse, and our Chip Riere will go in the clubhouse getting interviews with some of the players, and we'll bring that to you as soon as that becomes available.
A whirlwind for him as well, because earlier in the season, many analysts said that they never imagined they would be saying Howie Kendrick and MVP in the same sentence. But Howie, oh my gosh, this is how we do it.
This is how we do it. That's like our karaoke days back in Syracuse. But yeah, Howie Kendrick has been phenomenal. It's been a total team effort because they have so many big names on this team, and not a lot of people would think a Howie Kendrick would be such a difference maker, because you have a Trey Turner, you have a Juan Soto, you have an Anthony Rendon, but it's the Ryan Zimmermans, it's the Howie Kendricks that have really stepped up, especially
the Rendons,
especially in this National League Championship Series. And you can't say enough about the starting pitching, Michelle. Anibal Sanchez set the stage in Game 1 against the St. Louis Cardinals. Then Max Scherzer followed suit. Last night it was Steven Strasburg. Patrick Corbin was phenomenal through 5 innings, striking out 12 tonight. A total team effort as the Nationals are going to the World Series.
Many argue that's why they were able to make it so deep in the postseason. So, yeah, full out effort by the entire team to get this far.
So let's kind of set the stage here for fans that are just joining us. So it's over. They clinched a spot in the World Series, winning Game 4, 7-4, sweeping away the Cardinals. Break out that broom. Thank you, Michelle. And now what's next? So they have a week off, Michelle. They're going to have 5 days. They're going to have 7 days off to kind of rest, rejuvenate, regroup, and then Game 1 of the World Series will be Tuesday night. Game 2 will be Wednesday night. So they play back-to-back nights. It'll be either in Houston or against the New York Yankees. That series right now is 2-1 advantage Houston, so the Washington Nationals can kind of savor this feeling, enjoy the celebration, and then look forward in a couple days to getting ready to either the Yankees or the Houston Astros.
Exactly.
Hey, are you guys fired up or what, huh? Oh, yeah, World Series.
Bound. Here
yes.
we come. Our Heather Graf also standing by. She's in the mix, the mission, popping lots of bottles, beer, you name it. Heather.
Time to celebrate, Heather. Come on now.
The party is going strong, guys. I'll tell you what. Again, we have a party going on inside in the bars here outside the ballpark and also outside. Let's show you N Street Southeast first. This is the center field gates and just that mass exodus of people. But they're not going home anytime soon. These fans pouring out of the park and really just the celebration beginning. So now we're going to spin around and show you inside the bar first, where they are celebrating. And I do want to bring in a couple fans who just showed up at the bar, but you guys were at the game tonight. Describe for us the energy inside the ballpark tonight.
It was electric tonight. We're glad to be there. Electric inside the field. Starting off the first inning like that, it was awesome.
Why did you want to be there? I mean, you couldn't miss it.
I was here when the Caps won the Stanley Cup. Now listen, this city, DC, we need something. We don't have a football team. We need something. The Senators won the World Series in 1938, but the Nationals are going to win the series in 2019. And that's a promise from me, a DC local. I promise you, it feels the same as the Caps year. 2017, 2019, we're back. DC is back. DC's back. DC is back.
Whoever said DC wasn't a sports town, right? So we'll be hanging out here at the Mission Restaurant right across from Nats Park all night. We'll send it back to you, Michelle and Scott, for right now.
All right, Heather, thank you. And I hear fans coming out just saying, holy cow, this is happening. We're going to the World Series. Even after watching a magical performance today and the 4-game sweep that we've witnessed, fans are still stunned. Their minds are blown that this is actually a reality.
And you heard the fan getting interviewed by Heather Graf saying this is eerily similar
to the
to 2 years ago with the Washington Capitals, because the Caps finally got over that hump. Their demon was the Pittsburgh Penguins. And here, with the Washington Nationals, they've been on a redemption tour themselves. They got knocked out by the LA Dodgers a couple of years ago. They took care of business against the Dodgers in the National League Division Series. They got knocked out by the St. Louis Cardinals in 2012. Well, they swept away the Cardinals in the National League Championship Series, booking their first ticket to the World Series. So a redemption tour for the Caps 2 years ago and a redemption tour for the Washington Nationals. The Caps won the ultimate prize, winning the Stanley Cup. Now the Nats just 4 more wins away from the ultimate prize and hoisting that World Series trophy.
And the fans are just going bananas. I mean, they have fought tooth and nail for this. The hashtag this entire postseason has been stay in the fight, and they certainly have done that, fulfilling the postseason promise to fans who have been loyal through all the ups and downs, and now enjoying the high of being World Series bound.
You know, October baseball, there's nothing like October baseball when you're doing well and winning. And unfortunately, Nats fans have not had a lot of winning in terms of October baseball. In fact, it's the opposite. A lot of heartbreak, but not tonight. These fans are ready to celebrate. They're ready to party. This is like a big weight lifted off their shoulders. And all the credit goes to these players. And I want to give a shout out to manager Davey Martinez. This guy was much maligned back in May. Fans wanted him on the first flight out of here, out of Reagan National Airport. They wanted him gone. But he stuck with this team. The team stuck with Davey Martinez. They came together. Martinez pressed all the right buttons during the playoffs. And it's really showed that, you know, how much the team believes in Martinez, and it's been a beautiful thing to watch unfold over these last couple months.
And now the fans don't want him getting on any plane.
No, he'll probably get a contract extension. He'll be staying for a long time.
Oh, this is such a magical night. More fans pouring out, so it's getting even louder.
Yep.
A lot of them were hanging in to celebrate.
Are you guys excited or what? We're going to the World Series. Are you pumped? Oh, it has been a long time coming. It has been a long time coming.
World Series bound.
Yep. So yeah, it's either the Yankees or the Astros up next, and selfishly, it'd be kind of appealing for a Yankees-Nats World Series, but you know, that's just me being selfish. Why not beat the premier team of all baseball on the biggest stage?
As long as it ends in a win, we'll take either one, the Astros or the Yankees. They still have to work out that series to see who's going to come out on top. It's 2-1, right?
And that's a great point, Michelle. You kind of want that series to go long. You want these teams to kind of beat each other up a little bit.
Wear them down.
Maybe get a little tired, maybe get some injuries along the way, some bad breaks, bad bounces, because the Nats are just sitting at home right now for the next 5-7 days, wondering who they're going to play. They can rest up, they can set their starting rotation, and you can also see here on the other side of the screen some highlights from Game 3 tonight at Yankee Stadium. The Astros and the Yankees were doing battle, and the Astros won that one 4-1 to take a 2-1 series lead. So the Nats will play the winner of that series. Game 4 of that series is tomorrow night at Yankee Stadium.
That's right. We got Cats fans here as well.
Are you excited or what? Let's go, baby.
Let's talk some of the fans that we have right here. They're all pouring out.
We want some
hey
fans.
guys, come over. Come over.
We're live on ABC7.
You just witnessed history. Tell us.